In 1943, Jewish residents of the Warsaw Ghetto launched an uprising to oppose the occupiers' final effort to deport them to the Majdanek and Treblinka death camps. The revolt began on April 19th, after the ghetto refused to surrender to SS Brigadeführer Stroop. Stroop responded by systematically destroying the ghetto block by block, ending the resistance on May 16th. This commemorative report documenting the destruction was presented by Stroop to SS chief Heinrich Himmler. Die Verwaltung des neu gebildeten jüdischen Wohnbezirks. The administration of the newly formed Jewish district lay in the hands of the Jewish Council of Elders, which received its instructions from the Commissioner for the Jewish District, who was directly subordinate to the governor. The Jews had self-governance, in which German oversight took an interest only insofar as German interests were affected. To ensure the effective implementation of the measures to be taken by the Jewish Council of Elders, a Jewish security service was established, distinguished by a special armband and cap, and equipped with rubber truncheons. The Jewish Security Service was responsible for maintaining order and security within the Jewish district and was under the authority of the German and Polish police. Schon bald stellte es sich heraus. It soon became clear that despite this concentration of Jews, not all dangers had been averted. The security situation necessitated the complete removal of the Jews from the city of Warsaw. The first large-scale deportation took place between July 22nd and October 3rd, 1942, during which 310,322 Jews were deported. In January 1943, another resettlement operation was carried out, involving a total of 6,500 Jews. Let's be clear here. When Stroop speaks of Jewish deportation from the ghetto and resettlement, he's describing the transportation of Jews to the extermination camps Treblinka and Sobibor, where they were immediately murdered, and he knows it. In Kazimierz's book, Conversation with an Executioner, when he referred to fugitive Jews who had escaped a German pogrom in the Warsaw Ghetto, Stroop had been incensed, stating, "We didn't have pogroms. Pogroms are the work of barbarians." Kazimierz then responded, "In a sense, you're right. In the past, pogroms have been largely spontaneous, a kind of communal madness, although some were deliberately triggered. In contrast, your party's actions were coldly calculated, planned down to the last detail, justified by your belief in the Aryan superiority, and meticulously orchestrated." This footage shows Jews from Dresden at the Halleberg transit camp in 1942, being processed to be resettled in the Theresian Ghetto in the Protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia. These are stills from a reel of private footage taken by a German soldier in Romania in late June of 1941 that show a civilian-led pogrom against Jews. In this instance, the German soldiers present seem to be taking neither an active role nor de-escalating the situation. There was generally no moral objection to the killing of Jews, but rather sometimes an objection to the lack of discipline and messiness of the violence. On the ground, German SS and police conducted the operations, often assisted by the Jewish Ghetto Security Service, who were later deported and murdered themselves to ensure secrecy. In the extermination camps, the same strategy would be used with the Sonderkommando crews, who were responsible for incinerating the bodies of murdered victims after their gassing. They generally worked for a few months before being killed, with a new crew then being cycled in. These examples of German efficiency Stroop did equate with superiority. It was something he was proud of. Im Januar 1943 wurde vom Reichsführer SS anlässlich In January 1943, during his visit to Warsaw, the Reichsführer SS ordered the SS and police leader in the Warsaw district to relocate the armaments and defense-related factories, including those housing workers and machinery, located in the ghetto to Lublin. Carrying out this order proved quite difficult, as both the factory managers and the Jewish workers resisted the relocation in every conceivable way. The SS and police leader therefore decided to carry out the relocation by force through a large-scale operation planned for 3 days. The preparations and operational orders for this operation had been made by my predecessor. I myself arrived in Warsaw on April 17, 1943, and assumed command of the operation at 8:00 a.m. on April 19, 1943, although the operation itself had already begun at 6:00 a.m. that day. Strange as it may sound, this situation, to a large extent, was a result of a misunderstanding. During the visit of the Reichsführer SS, Himmler was furious to learn that private firms, rather than the SS, were profiting from the slave labor of the 40,000 Jews who were still living in the ghetto. Relocating the machinery and workforce to Lublin would put the operation under the control of Odilo Globocnik, Himmler's man there. But word had gotten back to the ghetto that the 300,000 that were supposedly relocated in 1942 had actually all been murdered. This was in spite of an elaborate ruse that included, for example, having the people write letters back to their loved ones saying that they'd arrived and were well just before being gassed. Now that the arms industry was actually intended to be relocated, nobody believed it. So they fought. Vor dem Beginn dieser Grossaktion Before the start of this large-scale operation, the boundaries of the former Jewish quarter were sealed off by an outer barrier to prevent the Jews from escaping. This barrier remained in place continuously from the beginning to the end of the operation and was further reinforced at night. If you like productions like this created from primary historical sources, please take the time to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Patreon supporters get regular access to exclusive footage that can't be shown here. Open a free account on our website military1945.com and stay informed. Thanks for watching.